And here we are, spawning in the bottom left, in the blue for the Afrika Freaks. The one, the only, Trap. And his opponent in the upper right in the red, representing the Shopify Rebellion. And man, that clan logo looks good in game. He is BYUN. And I really need to go on in and, well, I really need to go in and actually just make sure I have an actual downloaded version of the Shopify Rebellion logo. So it actually fits within that bar. I forgot that the Rebellion was one of the ones that when you download it, it's not the proper size, it's not a square image, so it gets a little bit messed up. But anyway, we do have a trap here, doing just a little bit of trap things, going to try to delay this command center for as long as possible. But BeoMulf only has pulled one SCV to deal with this, so for now, it's not going to go down all that quickly. But there we go. He's going to get enough damage done. And look at this, though. This is interesting. BeoMulf did decide to not show his Marine. He very easily could have moved that Marine down and killed off the probe and been totally fine with things. But he has opted not to do so because BeoMulf is going for a little bit of a fancy build here. And this is something that he has been doing more and more as of late, especially when he does open Marine into Reactor. Where he does this thing where he gets a second and a third barracks. Yeah, Trap will not find his way up on the high ground. So he gets that second and third barracks. And come 250, it's most likely that he will get a third command center. So it's a really quick third base. But it is also a very quick stim timing. He just gets a bunch of bio. He gets 30 Marines, something like that. Runs across the map onto the Protoss player's natural, onto their third base, and tries to kill as many workers as possible. Before, of course, it's a stim timing, so the bio will eventually die. There is no medevac support there. Will not be able to kept alive in that way. But he moves across the map. He tries to get as much damage done as possible. Targets down. You know, on an ideal case, he kills a base. Otherwise, he hits 10, 15 workers. Assuming he gets damage done. I mean, I've absolutely seen games where he just doesn't get anything done whatsoever. But, actually this is looking like he's not going to go for that quick third version of this build. This is just going to be the far more committed two-base version, which, they have pros and cons. On the one hand, you have less of an economy, but on the other hand, you have a stronger push. So, well, you win some, you lose some here. It looks like this will be a Stim Tech Lab build, or a Stim Combat Shield build. There we go. So that is what BeoMulf does get by not getting that quick third base. As I believe the third base build actually is only 2 barracks, not 3. So anyway, more and more Marines coming on out. BeoMulf doing a really good job of making sure these get hidden. Yeah. So look at this. The Adept will go on behind the mineral line here, and BeoMulf is in fact willing to give up a little bit of his economy to make sure that, well, Trap is kind of kept in the dark about things, but no, Trap will force that on out there, so he's going to get a full-on scat of things, and this Oracle, well, actually, not a lot of damage was done. What we saw, 2 SCVs go down and 2 Marines for one Adept, that's not a big deal, and now BeoMulf, well, he's moving on out because Stim and Combat Shields are just about done. Oracles, they're going to have to go home to defend this, and this third base is in a bit of trouble. This is, of course, well, it's a Stargate opener, so there is no blink, nothing like that. And yeah, this army is a little bit smaller than it otherwise would be, and, well, the Stalkers will find things on the ramp immediately. We don't have Stim, we don't have concussive shells just yet, so notice BeoMulf moving forward with his Marauders first and foremost to try to tank here. And this is honestly not the biggest version of this push that I've seen. I feel like there's generally more, but he's lost a decent bit on the exchange shares. Now one Stalker will get targeted down, the second one will get targeted down as well. Oracle's running on in here, they can't take this fight either. BeoMulf already starting to get some damage that he's looking for. He's just going to run on into the natural. Shield batteries here, of course, but that doesn't really matter. Oracle will get targeted down. Barely not. Okay, but now he's going to find the mineral line. And this is where things get a little bit dicey because BeoMulf, he's going to stim up on top of the ramp here, do what he can. And no, he's just killing army. He's not really killing economy right now, which is surprising. I think kind of the goal of this is to kill as much economy as possible. But 6 workers, an Oracle and a half. Did he get 2 Oracles? Okay, 6 workers, 1 Oracle, 4 Stalkers. Yeah. for that army that BeoMulf had. BeoMulf is not unhappy with that one. Now, he could have probably gotten a decent amount more of economy, but he wanted to make sure that he was not super vulnerable to a counterattack. Well, Destin won notionally, because Zest is not playing and BeoMulf is. Therefore, BeoMulf has beaten Zest, because the only way to lose is not to play, or something like that. But no, it's the only way to win is not to play. And BeoMulf is playing, so that means Zest wins. Anyway. Something like that. Anyway, we have another stim timing going to come on in. But the stasis trap! Oh, man. Trap, you're too sexy. That was beautiful. So, yeah, this one Marauder will go on down. We're going to have another warp in. Maybe 2 warp ins here, as the Oracles will fly home as well. BeoMulf with a little bit of a something. Not exactly sure what he's saying. If someone in Korean, someone in chat speaks Korean, well, let me know here. So we're going to have that force field. This is not going to get anything done. It was a cool idea from BeoMulf with that follow-up, but no, it's not going to happen whatsoever. And that one was... Okay, there we go. That one was... 2 Adepts died? Yeah, no, that's not exactly worthwhile. And yeah, Trap is most likely the stronger opponent. But now, once again, we do have BeoMulf. He's getting aggressive. He does have his 3rd base on the way. And I will say that the one downside to this build, right, as BeoMulf has been doing it, is he is setting up, it looks like, for a +1 stim combat shield timing, right? Here's the thing, though. He has traded off a majority of his army over the last several minutes to make this +1 stim combat shield timing happen. Because now we have the units in the wrong minivac, so that one Marauder will be forced to be abandoned. Anyway, +1 stim combat shield timing, but he won't have any tanks for this, and he really will have lost a decent amount of the army that will make that +1 stim combat shield time happen well. So, with that being said, BeoMulf is going to be able to hit a little bit weaker of a timing than he normally would be. Now, he does have a decent amount of medevacs, or Widowmines, excuse me, and I do like that. Of course, this is a Phoenix charge lot army. That's going to come on out here. Yeah, that is charge. So, with that being said, BeoMulf has a rather good army to deal with what Trap has, but it's not nearly the kind of power that he would otherwise have. Hey, Destin. No GSL spoilers here, please. I have not had a chance to watch the GSL. I woke up for this. I was up late working on some PhD stuff, so have not seen the GSL right yet. Please, no spoilers in chat. Do not spoil your caster. Don't make me sad. I'll have to watch those VODs later today as I write control theory or something. Anyway, we do have the army here of BeoMulf. It's going to stim across the map. Well, not stimming yet, as these force fields are very nice. This is a massive minefield coming on in, so BeoMulf is going to look to push on in. And do we have one shield battery here. And BeoMulf, oh, we're taking advantage of some fantastic hold position. But anyway, look at those force fields. That's going to keep everything alive. As the Phoenix are going to drag themselves on top of BeoMulf's army. BeoMulf's army is about half as big as it was a second ago, but he still is nursing that 20 supply lead. He still does have a decent amount of medevacs here. Until the Phoenix are going to dive on in. The Widowmines will be forced to lift here, but this is a more and more rally of BeoMulf coming on in. And you know what? Honestly, the Marauder count, maybe it's a little bit too much. Because charge slots are very good against Marauders, because the Marauders don't attack all that fast. Not quite as good against Marines. But anyway, there are only 2 Phoenix left at this point, so it's not going to be quite as much of an air buffer as it once was. And now BeoMulf, he's just going to move forward a little bit, try to target down these sentries, as he will not lose nearly as much of his army to these force fields. As I say that, the 3rd force field comes on in. These force fields are damn good, but now the Phoenix are going to dive on in here, and we do not have BeoMulf targeting them down. He cannot afford to. He needs to fight the rest of the army. As we're going to see one Archon go down. Will we get a second? Okay, well, only 1 Phoenix. Yeah, but no, Trap is continuing to make Phoenix here. As now it's a 30 army supply lead instead of a 20. Now, these force fields continue to be absolutely fantastic here, and it is really consistently only 2 Phoenix. But as BeoMulf does kite backwards, kite forwards, it does feel like, well, Trap is just bleeding out more and more every time. And that really does seem to be the downside of this strategy that Trap has opted to go for. Right? It does allow you to hold, kind of, but unless you really, really smack down the Terran army, it feels like you don't go, and it feels like you don't get enough. Yeah, I'm excited to watch him later. I just have only so much time in my day. I can't get up at 5 a.m. to watch GSL. Not with the schedule I'm keeping, not with all the late night broadcasts I've been doing. But anyway, yeah, BeoMulf will find this 4th base, and there was just nothing in position here. Not at the moment. Army from the 3rd base is going to cycle on over, but this base is going to be dead by then. The question really, though, is whether Trap will be able to take the follow-up fight. So we do have ghosts here. The EMPs are going to be somewhat nice, and the Widowmine shots are not going to hit the majority of the army. They're only going to get the Phoenix here, so that will mean that BeoMulf's not going to take the best fight here. So, oh, look, the Phoenix lips are going to be very nice as the flanking zealot. Flanking individual zealots, they're just going to get targeted down. Not really much to their name. But Trap does have to be careful here. The Archons are starting to take some damage. And there we go. One Archon will, just barely not go down here. Meanwhile, BeoMulf is losing the majority of this army. But certainly there is more where that has come from. And he does have his 4th base on the way. Trap lost his, although he is reproducing things. But this is not the moment where Trap has decided to move across the map here. Trap, though, I do like this. He is advancing his tech. He says, okay, this Charizard army is helping me survive. It is not helping me thrive. So we do have a 2nd Robo on the way. We do have Colossus on the way as well, as he has finally gotten himself up to 6 gas. I wouldn't mind seeing some Disruptors as well once he does get on into Colossus tech. But this Archon should die, but no, not with Shield Battery Overcharge. Nice pickups here. Of course, with the lack of Phoenix here in the sky at this point, the Medivacs can do a whole lot more to save this army from force fields. But, well, we will see 1 Archon go down, 2nd Archon go down, and that is going to be very nice. But at the moment, I mean, of course, with these force fields and with this Immortal really, truly joining the fray here, the army supply gap that we saw, it was a 40 army supply gap at some point. It's not that there anymore. It's only 10. It's only 14. Trap is doing a fantastic job of holding out here, as it is, of course, upgrade parity. Now, that's only for the moment, as BeoMulf is going to eventually have 2-2, and Trap will have 2-1, or 1-3, so we'll be back in upgrade parity in a really interesting way. Generally, you kind of see 2-1, but Trap's done a very good job of getting his upgrades, and BeoMulf did let them lack a little bit, but, oh, a little bit of my shots. That's going to do some damage. So BeoMulf will find the army maybe out of position here, but no. Trap will find will get himself back into position in time. And BeoMulf really doesn't have a lot to deal with these Colossus. Not really. So especially with some force fields like they're going to land right there, we're going to see a large portion of BeoMulf's army get taken out immediately. Now these Widow Mines, once again, are doing a really good job. They're getting some fantastic connections. But with the Colossus out, BeoMulf, he's going to be forced to reset for a moment. Especially as we do have 2 more just about done. Extended Thermal Lance just about done as well. So BeoMulf, he has a couple additional barracks. He is adding, of course, those Vikings that will allow him to take that fight. Second starport on the way as well. And this game's going to go just a little bit later. And Sushi, it does appear that you will get your wishes. This is absolutely going to go on into the late game. That drop, however, is not going into the late game, as it will be found out, will be slapped aside. And now Trap seems to be Trap is solidly in a lead here. He does have the supply lead. He does have, well, he doesn't have the upgrade lead for the moment, but he will have upgrade parity rather soon, as these Widow Mines everywhere are just causing so much thorniness there for Trap. So we have 4 Vikings. We will soon. How many Vikings do we have? So we have 6 Vikings. 6 Vikings for 2 Colossus. I think we want to see about 2 to 3 more there for BeoMulf to be very happy. And there he is, restarting Viking production once again. And it's a 4-base Protoss against a 4-base Terran, which, honestly, with the style that Trap is going for, Trap would rather have 5 bases. He wants to be able to get on up into those additional bases. Is this, did that just run in? Yeah, a Widow Mine run by coming on in. That's pretty cool. Now we have the itsy bitsy teeny weeny zealot run by. We'll find this 3rd base running by the planetary. Says, yeah, not exactly worthwhile. But now Trap does have his 5th base on the way, and both players are approaching max. BeoMulf, he's got a little bit more, just barely. But at the moment there is upgrade parity. Well, yeah, there is upgrade parity. There we go, 3-1. These are some tanky zealots. That's to be daggone sure. And look at all those EMPs are just landing on top of everything. So the Vikings standing strong here. Archon's trying to get on top of things, but not really going to be all that worthwhile. And yeah, Shield Battery Overcharge is doing a good amount of work here. That's going to run out eventually. That being said, though, a decent amount of these Zealots have died, or excuse me, of the Vikings have died. So BeoMulf really can't make that push happen, as we do have, of course, a Charizard drop actually on into the main base. But of course, well, there are Vikings in the sky. They have +1. They are not going to allow that to last all that long here. So this charge lot run by is not going to get anything done here. But that does give Trap license to get aggressive on top of the map at this point. There are only 4 Vikings with this army. It is only 2-2. So it's not like the Trap or BeoMulf has his upgrade lead yet. This Disruptor Shot's not going to get anything, and those EMPs were actually really good here. So BeoMulf will be able to take the fight here on the high ground very well. Now, only 1 Viking left. Oh, that Disruptor Shot. Man, BeoMulf not quite splitting in time. And, well, now we have roughly supply parity once again. It's only a 5 supply delta here. This 1 Colossus will go on down, so it's only 2 Colossus at the moment. But again, late game. That most wonderful of things. We have 4 bases and 5 bases. It looks like a Zealot run by. I think those are the Zealots that have been around BeoMulf's linear third for quite a while. Well, they're finally going to get taken care of. They will finally be found here. His Disruptor Shots are going to go off. BeoMulf, is he paying attention? He is good. But, will he get these? No, he won't. BeoMulf, all inning may be a little bit too hard, but at the end of the day, he does get a decent amount of disruptors. So it's going to be okay. It's going to be worthwhile here. Now, BeoMulf, I feels like he's overbuilding Vikings just a little bit. There are only 2 Colossus on the ground, and BeoMulf has 11 Vikings. He is adding a couple more, but there we go. Liberators are going to be a little bit better of an option here. As now this run by, yeah, it's not going to be all that successful. Meanwhile, well, it's going to be a Protoss attacking a planetary. We do have the whole scale repair here. And now some Liberators will be able to keep this alive, or excuse me, some Disruptors will be able to knock down these for a while. But here, there we go. We see 1 Colossus go down, second one will go down rather soon, and when you're only on 1 version of Splash, well, I guess technically 2 because Archons, but only on 1 version of Splash, well, it becomes a little bit harder for you to take that fight. So we will see the Disruptor Shots go on out here, and they're going to be somewhat decent, but now BeoMulf, he's going to flank on around here. The final Disruptor Shot, there we go. I think this is the last one, so now BeoMulf can collapse on in. That Disruptor Shot, though, bowling for Terran, is going to be terrifying, but now BeoMulf, he's found the army here. Disruptors are going to start to get targeted down. They are not massive units. They do get hit with concussive, so this Disruptor Shot will not exactly land, but BeoMulf now stimming on in, trying to take advantage of this bit of momentum that he does have for himself. Meanwhile, of course, we have Zealot run-bys on into the natural, and they are starting to get tremendous damage done here. The rally of BeoMulf will not be able to deal with that quite yet, because again, they are heavily upgraded here. Now they're actually going to find their way on into the main base as well. So this is a bit of a problem, and there we have a GG Trap. It looked like BeoMulf maybe had enough here, but Trap, he waited long enough, and GG. In spawning in the bottom right, in the blue, up 1 game in this series, hoping to have a date with the winner of DRG versus BYUN later on. Give it up for Trap. And his opponent in the upper left in the blue, trying to equalize this series, take us to game number 3 for the Shopify Rebellion. The one, the only, BeoMulf. And man, I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the Shopify Rebellion logo that's up in the upper right. It's just enough understated, it's enough washed out that it's not super visible. But I don't know, it looks cool. I'm a big fan in general of this tournament series that Into the Clan and Alpha X together that we've decided to put on here. I mean, if you didn't catch day one was fantastic. As I'm blanking who was in day 1 on Thursday. But it was. Yeah, so day 1 we had Cure, Innovation, Patience, and not Ragnarok. Ragnarok unfortunately did have to drop out due to an emergency. So it was a 3-man group, but already those games were sick. These games, well, the 1 game we've had today has been sick, and we have 2 more groups where that does come from. So honestly, this is an incredible tournament series. And I am very, very excited to pretty much bring coverage of all of it. I may have to miss 1 day because, well, I get my COVID shot on like a Wednesday, and then we have this on a Thursday. So that may be a bit of a problem here, but anyway, it's gonna be fine. As look at this, BeoMulf going for a bit of a TY build, because I want to say who I've seen do this first and foremost, where he's going for double concussive shell marauders, and I'm not exactly sure what the goal of this build is quite yet. Okay, now Trap will scout this, and that makes it not nearly as powerful. I mean, I suppose it could be a really quick stim, but not really. It's highly unlikely. So first Marauder will go on out, And we do have still this Adept. It's going across the map here. And second one will join it. So look at this, though. They're not really going to go across the map. They're going to hide in the tall grass and hope a unwitting Pokemon trainer will find them as they do go on in here. But look at this. There is no shield battery. Not yet. Not in the natural. So BeoMulf can maybe get some damage done here, but not with this additional Adept. So there we go. The Adepts will dive on in. The Marauders are here. Adepts won't really see that as of yet. So the Adepts, they will complete, and it's 2 Marauders against 2 Adepts. The Adepts do not win that fight, especially not with that Marine added on in. So this is going to be a very nice trap here for BeoMulf. And honestly, one that I'm very surprised to see Trap fall for, because, well, I mean, he saw the tech lab. He saw it was researching something, and it's not going to be Stim. But anyway, Marauders are here. This was, what, effectively 1 Marine for 2 Adepts, which is a very nice trade there for BeoMulf. And now we do have Stim on the way. So he will have a very quick Stim to deal with the blink timing, the 3-gate blink timing that is now going to come on in here for Trap. That being said, though, he doesn't, I don't know if he has a tech lab on the factory. No, he won't. He will not have a tech lab on the factory. And what that means is this blink timing, in part, well, okay, he will have Stim, and that's going to be very nice for him. And concussive shells for these Marauders as well. He's going to do a really good job of knocking down a lot of this army as it does move across the map here. So another Adept, another Stalker will go on down. But you got to remember, right, this is there's not going to be a lot of, well, I guess there's going to be a decent amount of bio. But bio is the one thing that Blink Stalkers can do very well against early on at low supplies, right? Because you just blink against it, it's going to be totally fine. But Trap doesn't look like he wants to be all that aggressive with this, as much as I was worried about the sort of aggression that Trap would be able to throw against BeoMulf here, because he's going into that Robo Bay really quickly. We don't have a Warp Prism just yet, unless I missed it. Yeah, no Warp Prism, just going to go on into that second Observer. And Trap looks like more than anything, he's just preparing to take his 3rd base. Now, not quite as soon as he might otherwise want to, because, well, BeoMulf has gone for a notionally aggressive build. Actually, we might not even be notional. This might just be an aggressive build here, as we do have the 3rd barracks on the way, of course, that will allow BeoMulf to go for that +1 Stim combat shield timing. But Stim is already done. Concussive shell's already done. All we're waiting on is for some combat shields to get started here. Now, and BeoMulf is actually going to move out across the map already. Trap will scout this, of course. He does have observers, and they are nice to make sure that he knows what's happening here. But with 4 Marauders and, what is that, 8 odd Marines, 10 Marines, this is a scary fighting force here for Trap to deal with at the moment. As BeoMulf is doubling the supply of his opponent from the army perspective at the very least. And look, he's not going to try to go on into the natural, I don't think. That's a little bit scary. There's a wall, there's shield batteries, all that fun stuff. No. You're going to say, okay, look, you're going to have to fight me here, so he will Stim on top of that. No, he will go on into the natural anyways. Targeting down the pylon, which will absolutely prevent that Colossus from going down. Oh, he's just going to kill it. There we go, GG, just like that, Trap. He's going to fall down. Spawning in the upper left. In the blue, he is representing the Afrika Freaks, trying to take his game to the winner's match. Give it up for Trap. And his opponent at the bottom right in the red for the Shopify Rebellion. The former world champion, the one, the only BeoMulf. I love it. I love it. Actually, so for those of you that are not aware, there's something I am very excited about. That is not, you know, my jersey showing up. For the first time, we have flown a rotorcraft on another planet. The Ingenuity helicopter, the Ingenuity rotorcraft, successfully completed its test flight. Yes, this morning. And yeah, within the last 24 hours. And that is so big. So we can't fly rotorcraft on a lot of planets. The atmosphere is not strong enough. Certainly cannot do it on something like, you know, the moon. It's just an exosphere, it's not an atmosphere. But on Mars, the atmosphere is thick enough that we can actually generate lift. That means we can fly rotorcraft. It means we can notionally fly fixed-wing aircraft as well on another planet, and that allows us to explore so much more of the red planet. So that's something I'm very excited about. It did just do its test flight this morning, yesterday. something like that. I have not seen the video yet. I'm very excited to. But, yeah, I actually got a couple friends that worked tangentially to that, and I got to see a couple really, really cool presentations when I was an undergrad by the chief engineer of the Ingenuity program, who worked on the, or not the chief engineer, the guy who did all the vision processing stuff, because my undergrad had a decent connection with JPL. But anyway, that's not StarCraft, that's just me nerding out about some really cool engineering stuff here. As we have a somewhat standard build coming out from BeoMulf here in this game number 3, which is weird. He's gone for a stim timing the first 2 games. And, well, not going for a stim timing. I don't even know what to think. Now, this will, of course, be a 1-1-1, and Trap has gone for a Blink build here in this game, as we have a Robo on the way, but we don't have Blink getting started just yet. 150 gas, there we go. So, Blink is on the way here now. Really, the question, though, is does Trap go commit? Is this 4-gate Blink? Is this 2-gate Blink? Is this 3-gate Blink? That's what we're looking at. Right now, it looks like it's only going to be 1 additional gateway, but that can always change. As we do see 2 additional gates on the way here, but look at this. It will be a Widow Mine drop coming on in, and yeah, it will be okay. So it is going to be 4-gate Blink here, as Trap does try at the very least to kill off BeoMulf rather early. That being said, though, he will have to deal with these 4 Widow Mines that are going to find its way on into his base, and if he is not able to defend that properly, then well, he's not going to be able to build enough Blink Stalkers. So we will see 4 Widow Mines will find their way on into this army, or into this medevac here of BeoMulf. And now he's adding a couple additional, oh, okay, there we go, yeah, this will be quad Widow Mine. And behind this, of course, we do see that tech lab going the way, so he will have tanks on the way behind this to make sure that he does stay safe from the incoming Blink aggression coming on in here. But, of course, behind this, couple additional barracks is, BeoMulf, it looks like he does want to get aggressive behind this. Yeah, eBay is on the way, so this is going to be +1 stim, combat shield, all those fun things, as, yeah, tanks are not getting started quite yet, but there we go. We will have double tech lab, so stim, combat shield, all that pizzazz, all those fun things. And we do now, oh, okay, so Trap is now moving across the map here with all of these Blink Stalkers, and that does mean that the the medevac is going to come diving on into the natural Trap on top of things for the first 2. Actually, he's going to get 3, oh, no, never mind. He can get 4 or 5, probes on in there, and there we go. 4 workers do go on down, and now of course we do have the Blink Stalkers up on the high ground. 12 workers do go down here as Trap's not paying attention. His probe was not quite good enough, and that the SCVs are going to get pulled here. Do we have a tank ready? Not yet, and there we go. The last Blink Stalker does go on down here, and oh, this is not looking good here for Trap. He did not get enough damage done. He killed oh, he didn't get he did not get a. Okay, well, the Widow Mine's going to go off here, so that means they have one dead stalker. Okay. He did not get a single SCV for his triples. Now we have a tank up on the high ground. Second tank on the way. Stim is on the way, of course, as well, and we have a lot more. So there we go. We have the Observer will go on down here, and BeoMulf will be forced to pull his SCVs just a little bit. So that is always the issue. Now this tank will go on up here. Stalkers are going to blink on top of it, as they always do, but the tank's going to get saved at the very last second here, and more coming on in here. The second tank's going to come on out. So many Stalkers have died. Only 2 SCVs lost their lives in the exchange. And now, well, BeoMulf, he's now up 23 supply here. Tanks are going to get 1 good shot off, and now the Bio's going to go on forward. Stim is getting ever closer to being finished here, and Trap can just not keep the snowballing Stalker force alive. And now the Bio's going to go on in. Once again, we will see another Stalker go on down. Trap should have saved that one, but was not able to do so. And again, Stim is getting closer to being finished. +1 is getting closer to being finished. We don't have combat shields. BeoMulf opting that saying that he does not have the money for that here. But now, well, the tank is sieging on up here. That does mean the Stalkers, they can't really get as much done. And, well, at this point, BeoMulf, his goal is to knock down the Warpers. And if he can do that, well, this aggression is absolutely ended here. But we will have 2 tanks on the way here for BeoMulf rather soon. Stim is done, excuse me. Combat shields are on the way. We don't have any, well, how many medevacs do we have? We have, yeah, not 1 medevac. All the medevacs have died, as BeoMulf is spending all of his money on pure bio to make sure that he does survive here. Now Stark's going to blink on forward here on top of the bunker here, trying to do what they can and just kill off a couple SCVs maybe, but now the rest of the army is going to call it in. We'll see that tank siege on up, and Trap will be forced back. Of course, Trap behind this does have Charge on the way, does have a Robo Bay on the way. So he does look like most likely he's going to go for a 2-base timing off of this. We don't have a 3rd base on the way here for either player. But now BeoMulf, he's going to be able to establish somewhat of a position here on top of that 3rd base. His army is getting terrifying. He's up 15 supply. And he will soon have +1. He will soon have combat shields. And his army is going to be very tanky indeed. Now, BeoMulf does siege up his tanks on top of each other. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think I would prefer to see him put them a little bit separate, so that if the StarCraft playing on one, they still take damage from the other. But anyway, Blink StarCraft now will find the way onto the main base here. BeoMulf with the stim is going to try to target some stuff down here. Yeah, there we go. This will be forced back. Here we are. Combat shields just about done. Custom shells on the way. BeoMulf, he's going to find the medevac, or the War Prism, excuse me. But War Prism will be able to find its way on into dead air just fast enough. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind seeing BeoMulf build like 1 Viking to just get rid of that thorn in his side. But I understand you want medevacs at this point in the game, so that's kind of a difficult thing to do, as well. This medevac is getting very dicey here. As 1 tank will go on down, but this Doctor will take a lot of damage in the exchange. Now the drop. BeoMulf says, okay, I've stabilized. I can get a 3rd base now. I can get out on the map. I don't have to worry about this aggression nearly as much as I did. That being said, it looks like BeoMulf, he's going to do more than just get out on the map with a double drop. His entire army now moving across the map here, and that will give Trap license to drop, of course. As, well, there we go. We do have a... Oh, it's just going to be the Stalker. It's not going to be a Warpin. But now the drop will, of course, find its way on into the natural. Well, BeoMulf will be forced to back up. There is 1 medevac. Well, actually, yeah, no medevacs will go on down. 3rd base getting canceled here for BeoMulf. As, that's unfortunate, but I don't know that BeoMulf really cares. As this is a massive army that's going to come on in here. It is +1, it is stim, it is combat shields. Concussive shells are done as well. We have 3 tanks here. And this is the army that BeoMulf's going to look to fight with. Now, we will have the Stalkers get on top of these tanks before they get fully sieged on here, but now BeoMulf going to stim on top of these Colossus. Do it again. War Prism does go on down, so no save for the Colossus here. 1 Colossus does go down. 2nd one going down as well. 3rd one coming out here, but it's not going to be nearly in time. GG. BeoMulf is going to beat Trap.